A way, a course, a journey, a road, a watercourse. These definitions offer just a few routes to approach Lode, which guide the collection through ideas of transience, passing and contemplation. Allnutt uses these ideas to trace a tension between connection and disconnection, between looking to the past and peering into the gaps of the future. A poem, if it's any good, always knows more than I do, says Allnutt in an interview with the Poetry Book Society.
Hi, I'm Anisha J. Manocha, a Poetry Society Young Critic, and for the next few minutes, just a trickle of time, I'll be reviewing Gillian Allnutt's 10th collection, Lode, shortlisted for the T.S. Eliot Prize.
But first, I want to ask, how do you feel watching the journey of the stream making its way onwards?
As ambiguous as its destination may be, it's that contemplative, even meditative feeling that I sense when first encountering some of the poems in Lode. This video will traverse the course of the collection's 3 sections: post-war, lockdown, and Earthhoard.
Post-war navigates loss from a historical lens, breathing life and presence into figures of the past, such as the former Queen, Allnutt's late father, and her uncle who died in the war and whom the poet never got to know. It deals with the loss and absence of various people, and at a time which feels very distant from where we are now. Wrestling between movement and displacement, in refugee-born London 1949, Allnutt places us into an intergenerational cycle attempting to trace national and personal origins, navigating fullness and emptiness, void and gratitude, finiteness and continuity, delete, etc. Diction spans through registers across time, from metaphysical verse, I'm no more stalled in God, along with pinpoints of British history, some of it Saxon Tower and stone Victorian stained glass.
Allnutt's writings from the past in this section evoke a sense of tenderness and closeness with the poet, whereas I think the later and perhaps more impactful parts of Lode lean towards that sense of solitude and the unknown. In her interview with the T.S. Eliot Prize, Allnutt mentions how COVID reckoned with the prospect of death and mortality in one of the most significant ways since post-war period. Although this draws from Allnutt's more immediate context, this historical consciousness helps us to navigate a sense of instability and isolation. So, how do we connect when we are alone? When we are alone, but all one?
What did we gain or lose when we listened instead to the breathing of trains, Azuma, Azuma, paused on the viaduct? The poem opens up to the rituals of attentive listening and pushes at the plural meanings of words. Azuma refers to the train company and the Japanese word for east.
Still grappling with this relationality of the self to the world, Allnutt branches out from herself as an individual in this part of the collection. While not wholly disconnected from our post-war past and the isolated spheres of lockdown, here we look at the self more as a spiritual being, at once interconnected and disconnected from our environment. This final section opens up a gentle probing through weaving the pastoral, mystical, and even mythical traditions. Take Song of Arachnid, which draws on the Greek story of a woman punished for talent and pride, transformed into a spider and destined to begin her web again and again. Arachnid is an acrobatic dot, humble herself in origin, weaving an extension to future generations through her web as an umbilical cord. She is a metaphor for the collection's constant expression of distance and elusive origins. Yet, she is alone. Alone, and she is loved among. With gestures to the more spiritual writings of Julian of Norwich, St. John of the Cross, Blake and Manly Hopkins, Earthhoard encompasses the more visionary and mystic side of poetry, which integrates seamlessly within Olnet's worldview and poetics.
Dark Night of the Soul, for example, theologically extends to surrender into the unknown. Olnet refers again to solitude and emptiness, sky in a black hole or limbeck of ever and evering. Do we find comfort in the absence, in defining the divine through what is not? Perhaps this gap even remains in the affirmative and cataphatic language. All I considered my own has left me, wondering, and if I am.
Lode widens the confluences of being alone and being transient. We gradually open outwards to consider the soul, consider the nowhere, and consider what could become. Olnet's poems are saturated with attentiveness to the ways in which we have and can live, lingering in a contemplative practice for the present.
So where is this river heading? And from where did it begin?